Hello all, welcome to the lecture series of AWS Cloud Architect. In previous video, we have seen how to create an instance and loading Ubuntu operating system in it. So in the previous video, we have created two Ubuntu instances and we have accessed them from the local machine, and we have cross-checked whether these two machines are connecting to each other. And in the previous session, what we have observed is we have not assigned any IP address, that is any private IP address, to the instances. So what has happened is, after restarting your instance, the default IP address is changed. So but when we install any web server in that instance, the IP address should be fixed. Means your instance should have its own private IP address. Now today's session we will go with these topics. So these are the activities to be performed. So first we will create an instance with Ubuntu operating system and we will name it as Ubuntu_test1. That is similar to the previous session. Then we will assign an IP address for it. Then we will try to access it from the local machine without restarting. Then after that, we will access it from local machine after restarting. Let's check the difference. What will happen after restarting and without restarting. Let's go to our AWS management console. You check in which region that you want to set up your virtual machine. Here I am going to set up my virtual machine in this North Virginia region itself. So to set up your virtual server, go to this EC2. Next, wait for some time. Okay, right now no instances are available with me because yesterday all the instances I have deleted. So click on, you can see nothing is there in the running instance. So here also you can launch your instance, or else you can go your instance and you can create a new instance. No problem. Okay, I am going to see this Ubuntu operating system. I am going to select this Ubuntu operating system. So I will choose this free tier, that is T2 micro, as I am testing it. Sorry, directly I am going to review it once, but one after other also you can do. Here we need to edit the security groups. Go here, edit the security groups. Already we have created one security group where we have enabled SSH and ICMP protocol. So what is the name of this security group? That is test_Ubuntu. Okay. So now these ports are open now. That is TCP and ICMP. Okay. Next, review and launch. So one more is required here. Storage is there. Instance details. Okay. And launch it. Here it will ask the key pair. So the existing key pair I will choose, that is test_1. Launch the instance. Okay. View. So here it is getting created. Let us name it as Ubuntu_test1. It is not yet created, still it is pending. Let's wait for some time. What will happen? Check. Normally it won't take this much amount of time. So within minute it has to be created. I think any network issues might be there. Okay, that's why it is not getting created. So once it is getting created, now you can see now the instance state is running. So the by default an IP address, this IP address is given. Okay. Now let me try to access it from the my terminal. How to access? So from local machine I am trying to access. Okay. Here the IP address is 188.180. Okay. 180. Just hit enter. Okay. First time it will ask to add this key. So the permanently it will be get added. Okay. So now you connected to this machine. Okay. So now what I will do is uh, let us check the file system cd root / internet root. If you type ls, you will get the system the root file signed up. Okay. Now what I will do is I will restart it, and what will happen? Let us see. Now it is running. The current state is instance state, and I will reboot it. Earlier, see the IP address is 188.180. Now what will happen? Let's see. Okay. Now see, it is connection is last year. Okay. Connection is last year. Next, if I stop it and start again, what will happen? Let's see. Instance state stop. Okay. It is stopping. So once it is stopped, this IP address will be now get changed. Okay. So to avoid that, what we will do is we should have the private IP address for this machine. Okay. How we can create the private address for this? Let us see. So right now it is in a stopping stage. Once it is stopped, let us see what will happen. Meanwhile, yeah, now it is stopped. Okay. I will start it. Okay. Earlier it was 188.8 something was there. Now the IP address will be get changed. Let's see. So we need to have the fixed IP address for our machine because when we install any web server and if we host any web application in that, every time we should have the constant IP address. That should not be changed. See here, now the IP address of this is changed. Okay, so when you stop and when you start, the IP address will be just changed. So now let us see how to create or how to fix an IP address for this instance. For this, what you have to do is here in the network and security, there is an elastic IP option is there. Go there and you have to click on IP address. That is, click here on elastic IP address, allocate elastic IP address. See, now your instance is created at this US East 1. Okay, so from this available IP4 address pool, one IP address will be going to assign for this from this region. Okay, from this availability zone. Okay, you just click on this allocate. Okay, so one IP address is given to you. Okay, now this IP address we have to attach to our instance. Okay, just click on this allocated IP address. Okay, now we have to associate this elastic IP address to the created virtual machine. Okay, first an IP address is assigned means you have taken it to your account. Next, we are going to associate this IP address to your machine. Okay, how to do that? Click on this associate IP address. See, so which resource that you want to assign it? You want to assign it to your instance. Okay, one more option is there, network interface means you can have a internet gateway also. You can have a various network interfaces will be there. So some of the network interfaces also require the IP addresses, like a load balancer, it requires the IP address. Next, internet gateway, it requires the IP address. Okay. So now we are going to associate the selected IP address to our instance. So click on this instance. Which instance? You may have a multiple number of instances. Okay. So here by default there is only one instance is there. So that's why it is okay visible here. Click here. Okay. Next, allow this elastic IP address to be reassociated. So what will happen is, if you select this IP address will be permanently given to you only. But when you delete or terminate the existing instance, this will be no more in use. But this you can use it for another machines. So if you click on this, the same IP address you can assign to any other instance after deleting this. Okay. So that is what. So right now I am not enabling this because we are having only one instance with us. So no problem. If you want, we can check that also. Okay. Associate. Okay. Now it is getting associate. Now you can see the summary of this associate, this IP address. Okay. So within the virtual private cloud, it will work. Which virtual private cloud? That is by default we have chosen the whatever the availability zone virtual private cloud is there. In that virtual private cloud, we have assigned our instance. We have created our instance. So it is default. This virtual private cloud scope is now a default. Okay. Now let's see. Okay. Now go to our instance. Okay. See here now it is changed. Okay. Now the same thing. Now you can connect like this. What is that? 18.214.189.111. Okay, see, as the IP address is changed, now again it is asking the confirmation to add the key, the same thing. Okay, now you can reboot your machine from here also. Reboot. Okay, you need to be login as root user. So sudo su is next. Here you can type reboot. Okay, it is disconnected. So once you reboot now here it is not getting changed. This IP address is not getting changed. Let us check. Let us stop it and start. Let's see what will happen. Stop. Okay. So in earlier case, once we stop and start, this IP address is changed. Now it will not be get changed after restarting your instance. So it is taking some time here. So what you have to remember is, once your practice is completed, better to remove the IP address what you have taken. Otherwise, that is you will get the bill for that IP address. Now right now it is stopped. Okay. Instance state start. See, IP address is now remain same. Let's see. Now the instance state is pending. Let's see. It will happen here. Come on. Yes. Yeah. Now it is running. The IP address state is not changed. That is the advantage of having the elastic IP address. I guess you have understood this well. Fine. So this is what we have seen in today's session. Sorry. We have created one instance with this Ubuntu operating system. We have assigned an IP address. We have accessed it from the local machine without restart and after restarting. So we have created our virtual machine on AWS cloud in this region, North Virginia. We have assigned an IP address to this instance and we have accessed it from the local machine. So this is what today's session. In next lecture, we will see few more details about this Amazon virtual machines. That is in the next topic, we will see how to install softwares in an instance what we created from the local machine, as well as we will try to transfer the files from the local machine to your virtual machine. This is what we have seen. I guess you understood well. Thank you. Hello all.